friends, welcome on in. It's Lori from Wild Pony Designs, and we're here in my sewing studio, and we're going to do a fun bag today. It's called the Fancy Tote, and it's by Annabelle. Annabelle, thank you so much for letting me do this. Now this is a great big tote. It's big. It holds a ton of stuff. Now this tote also has an add-on pack, and I'll show you the picture for that. And this is kind of what we're going to be doing today. We're going to add these zipper pockets. We're going to add a little clip on the inside. We're going to do different handles. So that's the add-on pack to this one. So it's the same pattern, but we've just added it on. So we've see the handles are a little bit different on this one. So this is the version that we're doing. So you can see it. So it has the two front zipper pockets along the front. This is one big huge pocket. I've got two slip pockets again in the back, huge pockets. I think my e-reader would fit in there as well. Inside, two handles, great shoulder handles. Inside, a little closure clasp, a big zipper pocket, so you could have the security of putting your phone and keys in a big zipper pocket. It's huge, huge. I got a nice sturdy bottom on it with bag feet, and we're gonna get into making this. It's called the Fancy Tote, and it's by My Handmade Space. And I'm glad I could be here with you guys as you watch me make this great bag. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, Wild Pony Designs. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that when we go live, my friend Barb and I, we go live a lot, you'll get notifications, and just give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And this is what we're making today, the Fancy Tote by My Handmade Space. So grab a cup of coffee, sit down and enjoy the process of making this fantastic bag. Thanks. Okay, so this is the add-on kit I was talking about. Let me turn my light on there. So the add-on kit for the Fancy Tote from Handmade Space. And we're gonna work on the add-ons first because I want to do these two zipper pockets that are here. And I'm gonna do a different bottom, and I want to do the key tag holder or the lobster clasp closure. What do they call that? Let me see. Instead of the zippers, I thought that would be different for a change. Let's see. They're calling it the recessed zipper instruction fancy. So they're calling it the D-ring and snap hook closure. So that's what I'm going to be working on first. I'm going to do all the add-ons first before I get into the pattern, because the add-ons, you know, are different from the instructions. So we have to do those first. So these are my colors that I'm using. This is going to be my lining. It's from my stash. This gorgeous chocolate marine vinyl from Marine Vinyl Fabrics, and this cute little, I'm going to call it looks like rocks, but it's kind of a leopard, but it kind of looks like rocks to me, but I know it's not. It's from Sew Yours. So those are my color selections, and that's what I'm going to be using today. So let's get started on some of the instructions in the add-on pack, which is a separate purchase, by the way. So I think I'll start with the base. I think is that one. That's the top. Here's my base here. So let's start with that. Okay, let me just get my tape together here and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm just checking to make sure I've got my deck of those. It should be at a certain spot. I don't know if I've got it, so I'm just going to mark for sure, so I know where my seam should be folding. I think it should be okay. I'm awfully close, so awfully close. Double-sided tape on that. This particular tape I'm using is a leather tape from Waywack. It's super sticky, and I do like it, but you do have to cut it. I'm not able to rip it. Okay. So we're gonna pull that off. I'm just going to fold it down on the line I drew, which I can see pretty good. I'm going to use my seam roller, which kind of helps sometimes to help it to stick a little bit. Okay, so we folded our edges in and we've got our short ends still loose. So I'm going to put purse feet on now. I'm going to have to kind of go back and forth between the two patterns. It says we have to do some marks again, so let me get my pen out to do that. Well, this is an air eraser, so sometimes if I know I'm not going to use it right away, it goes away on me, so I'm going to use a regular pen. So it says to, no, it's not really working very good. We're measuring in from the decaville for the purse feet. Yeah, that's not really working very good. Even a pencil would be better. I wrote that. I don't remember if I did or not. Okay, so I'm just gonna do that. Okay, so there we go. We're going to put our purse feet. She has 6 on her, so maybe I'll do 6 on this one too. Maybe I'll just do 5, one in the middle. So that's what I'll do. I don't think I have 6, so I've got only 5. So I'm gonna find my center and put one there. Right, yep, so there would be my center. Oh, I just want to double check that. Maybe that's not quite perfect. It's pretty close though. Maybe about right there. Okay, let me go punch holes, and I'm just going to use just regular purse feet to put those in, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there I have my purse feet on, and I want you guys to know that actually my purse feet are actually domed rivets. You don't actually have to have purse feet specifically for that. But I have these beautiful black matte rivets, domed rivets, and they work perfect as purse feet. So I just attach them with my domed rivet die, and that's how they look. Really nice, great for purse feet. Okay, now we're going to go on to the next section. I'm not going to install this just yet because I'm not at that point. But what I wanted to do was the zipper pocket, the exterior zipper pocket. So let me get my stuff together. And we'll do the front zipper pockets. These ones here, let me show you. So this zipper pocket right here, which is not on the original, but it's on the add-on. So that's what we're going to do next. Let me get all the stuff together and I'll be right back. Okay, I have the bits for my zipper. We're going to work on the zipper first. So I've got 2 zipper pulls. I have zipper tabs, and I have 3 of them. So one's going to go in the center. This is going to be one, instead of doing 2 separate zippers, we've got one big zipper that's going to have a pull going on each side. Okay, so we're going to take one of these. I've got zipper tabs there. This is we're going to take the long side, so that should be my center there. And we're going to fold the two edges to the center. We don't really need to mark it, but I'm going to put some tape on. Just give them that little crease. Fold that into the center. Okay, so that's what we've got. Just a little piece that's folded in. So we're going to find the center of our zipper. It's easier to bend it this way or that way. Okay, and I am going to, that tape did not want to hold. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And then I'll just use a bigger tape instead of the 1/8 inch. I'm going to use, what is this, a quarter? Quarter. So just a piece down the center. I'm going to attach this right over the center marks that we made on the zipper. Okay, I'm going to take it to my machine and I'm going to sew up either side. And I just realized I forgot to thread my machine, so let me go do that and we'll be right back. Okay, so everything's threaded. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to top stitch along the edge of that zipper tab. I'm going to make sure my stitcher, for those that you don't know, that haven't watched me before, over here at Wild Pony Designs, I'm sewing on a Thor 1541 industrial, and I'm using a Tex 70 thread. You do want to make sure this is straight. We've sewn our zipper tabs. Now we're going to install the zippers, the zipper pulls. And I try to get them as even as I can. So sometimes I do this 2 or 3 times until it's perfect. I don't like those bumps in my zipper. See, that went on perfect. So it's even on both sides of the zipper. And you don't get that little bump. You should do that too. Always do this to your zippers so they don't fray. Okay, and I'm going to be putting on the other one. Okay, that looks great. And we have our zippers that will close to the center. Oh, cute little handmade zippers. Zipper pulls. Okay. Now our next step is the ends of the zipper. No, I haven't put any interfacing on this because it's just a tab. So what I will do is I will put some tape on, just so it doesn't slip when I'm sewing. And then putting it down so that the long end is on the top of the zipper. So this is the long side here, this is the short side here. Sorry, that light is in the camera view. Sorry about that, guys. I try to have a little bit of extra light, but it doesn't always work. I feel like my room is dark. Let me turn on another set of lights. It might be better. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit better. Okay, now we're gonna sew this on. See if she gives us seam allowances in here for that. Yep, seam allowances in the pattern. And she's given us a very generous seam allowance, which is nice. Now we're going to fold these open and we're going to top stitch. I think I might have to do the lining piece on there as well. I have a feeling. Let me have a look here. Yeah, I was supposed to add the lining piece onto this as well. I'm just going to go back. So what we have is the lining piece that's going to fold open, and then the front piece will fold open. I'll just go re-sew over that. That's an easy fix. Okay, there we have that one. Let's re-sew that one. Okay, now we're going to fold them open and we're going to top stitch all the way around. I knocked something on the ground, but I don't know what it was. It might have been a clip. Just want to make sure this is straight. Some sewn around it. Little seams will be hidden probably in the construction, but at least it's all together. Now, I think if you used fabrics that were a little bit lighter, if you didn't use vinyl, you could definitely make this bag out of cotton, and it would be very domestic friendly for that as well. Alrighty, so that's what we've got, our whole zipper together, and our pulls meeting in the middle. Okay, now we're going to take our pieces. Put them. There they are, cooling down. We're going to be using these. I'm going to find my centers first of all. I'm just kind of do it on both sides. I have to find my lining piece to match. Hang on, let me get my pieces together. Okay, so I've got my pieces for the front of it. What we're going to do is we're going to put the zipper on the top here like this. Right side's down. It doesn't really make any difference which way because it's the same either way. What I am going to do is I'm going to put some tape on there. This will help because it is kind of a long zipper. It's where taking the longest time in bag making is trying to get the double-sided tape separated. So we're going to take our zipper. You should be able to center it because it was kind of the mark where we did before, and we're going to just go along. And attach it. Okay, so it looks like that. And now she says to baste that on, so I'll go ahead and do that. I'm in the habit of just attaching the lining and just going, but I'm going to baste it on so you guys can see all the steps. Move your zipper pulls out of the way when you get close to them. Okay, that's what it should look like. So let me turn that up. Now we're going to take our, there's two lining pieces for this, so make sure you grab the right one. It's in the pattern. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to run a piece of tape along and baste it in place. This one we're actually going to sew, not baste. Okay, let's try this end. We'll see if it'll happen in the next hour. Okay, I think we got it. I say that, but we'll see. Nope. I tell you this tape sometimes. There we go. There we go. Okay, now we're going to place this along top of this. And if your machine, you know, if you've got a machine that doesn't handle tape, you can just go along and put clips in. I think it needs to go this way just to, yeah, it's pretty good. I think we're good there. I'm just going to put a couple clips in. And we're sewing at our full seam allowance that's in the pattern. Feeling underneath for your zipper pulls. You want to just move them out of the way so they're the other side. Same here. And then just move them back. Now that's what we have. So now what we're going to do is I can actually go to the iron because this is cotton, so I'm going to take this over the iron and I'm going to just give it a little press so that the lining is nicely pressed away from the zipper. Okay, I don't want it to be, and then we're going to come and do a top stitch all along the edge. So let me just go give that a press and I'll be right back. Okay, giving it a little press, and I'm going to top stitch along our zipper on that folded seam. Have this nice zip. It's going to be a nice zipper pocket. Okay, I don't really have a direction on this, so we're going to take our second lining piece. It is a different size, that's why I say make sure you use the right one, and we're going to attach that to the zipper from this side. So I'm going to do the same thing, add a little bit of tape, I swear it's faster to clip sometimes. Got it. Okay, we're going to put the zipper, line the zipper, and we're just going to line up the panels, so that should be pretty easy to see. I'm just going to double check from the back side, make sure it's where it should be. That looks pretty good. Okay, and we're going to base that on. Okay, just read the instructions. Now we're going to do our line up here. So I do need another piece as well. I have to draw a line, so get the pocket layers out of the way. On the lining, it says to draw it on the lining. Let me just read my instructions. Hang on. Okay, so what I've done is I flipped this front pocket piece up, and I'm working on the line. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make a separation between the two pockets. So we're going to go halfway, trying to get a pen that's working. I'm just not having any luck with my pens today. Let me get it up here too. Get a bigger ruler. Let's move all these tools. That one doesn't work. Needs a new filler. All right, I'm going to do it here. Okay, so we've done a line down, the 2 lining pieces. I'm going to clip these sides together because I really don't want them to shift when I sew. And what we're going to do is we're going to sew straight down. And this is what's going to divide the pocket into the 2 zippered pockets, okay? So I'm going to go as far up to the top as I can and then work my way down. I'm not catching anything, I'm just starting right at the top. Great. Okay, now what we've done is we should have 2 separate pockets here now that we've filled it up. So when I open this up, there'll be a pocket here and a pocket here. See that? Those are our 2 front pockets. Now I need another piece. Make sure I get the right one. Small one. I think it's this one here. Front top, yep. Okay, now we're going to add this to the top of here, and then we fold it out. That's our pretty front pocket. Isn't that nice? So I'm going to put some tape again. Our dreaded tape. Maybe I'll use the other one. It's maybe a little bit easier to get off. No, I better use the small one. I hate to use this one, but I don't want my tape to show because it's a smaller seam allowance. And this tape is half the seam allowance, so we just don't want it to show. I hate it when tape shows after I've sewn something together. Okay, tape, be nice to me. Be nice. Oh yeah, I think that was the easiest one yet. It was. Okay, let's do this. So this is our top, main top front. Like I said, go ahead and clip if you feel like you want to. Want to double check my seam allowance. Yep, and then we're going to top stitch this as well. Now we're going to push that up and we're going to top stitch again. And the seam allowances are going up this way. So I'm not pushing the seam allowance down towards the zipper. I'm actually pushing the seam allowance back up towards the top. Alrighty, and now we're going to just make sure we can sew along the bottom. Now we're going to be working on the base. I haven't got, we're going back to the regular seam allowance now. So I'm sorry, not seam allowance, the regular pattern for that. So let's do that. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make, while we're on this add-on pack, I'm going to make the D-ring and the snap hook closure. So let me go grab the pieces for that and we'll make that. Okay, I've got my pieces for that. I've got my D-ring and my little lobster. And these are, I think these are like a 1/2 inch inside, maybe 3, yeah, they're a 1/2. So that's what I've got. I've taken my little piece of vinyl here that we've cut and we've drawn a line down the middle, and we're gonna just turn it into the center to make a little tab. It's gonna be small, so. And we're going to top stitch down both sides. And this is going to give us that closure inside the bag instead of doing a zipper, which is, it's nice if you're not comfortable with doing a zipper, or if you don't have any zippers. This is a nice way to add a little closure to the bag so that it's not open. So I'm just going to run my seam roller along. Okay, and now we're going to top stitch down either side. Okay, and it says to cut it in 2 equal pieces. See if that works out right. Yes, it does. So I'm just going to cut it right in half. And put a D-ring on. It says fold it in half and then attach a rivet. Let me just clip that. See if I need to do any more with that one. So we need to do rivets on both. So okay, so this is what we've done. We've done 2 little tabs. You see that? One with a lobster clasp, one with a D-ring. Now I'm going to go punch holes and add the rivets, and I'll be right back. Okay, now what we're going to do with our 2 little pieces is we're going to attach them to the top of the lining pieces. So mark your centers, and we're just going to attach them at the top right here on both pieces. Just make sure I have my centers. Yep, I do. So I'm just going to go over that a couple of times so it's sewn on there really well. And there isn't really a right or a wrong side to this, so it doesn't really matter. That's the one. See it? And then I'm going to do the other one. And then I think that's it for the add-ons. Okay, so that's the other one. So that's the add-on. So I'll just go over the add-ons with you again so you know what we did. Okay, so we started with the base piece, and this is going to give us a stronger bottom. So we've applied the interfacing, and I've done my purse feet on that using the rivets. We've done our front pocket. with the two separated pockets, really cute. Now, if you wanted to put a name badge, a sign or something on here with your name, that would be the place to do it. I don't know if I have a matte black one, so I may not put anything on. So we'll wait and see. So we've done this whole pocket piece, and then we've done our little connectors instead of the zipper panel. So that is everything for the add-on pack that I'm aware of that I decided to do. I think the handles are going to be a little bit different than in the pattern, so we're going to do these handles here. But when I get to the bag part, I'll do the handles there. Oops, can you see it? There we go. So these are a little bit different from the original pattern. So we'll do that when I start to make the bag. So now I'm going to get all the pieces together, and we're going to construct the bag the way it would be in the regular pattern, if you bought the regular pattern, without all the add-ons. Okay, so let me go grab all my pieces for that and pull up the pattern directions, and we'll figure that out. Okay, be back in a bit. Okay, we're going to be working with our exterior base piece. I'm just going to fold the long sides, right sides together. Or you could do the wrong sides together, it doesn't really matter. And we're going to be cutting and making marks along the bottom, so we're going to have like a boxed bottom. So I'm going to follow the directions in the pattern. And we're going to cut out these bottom pieces. Now I'm going to be referring back because I've done the add-on pack. There are some different instructions, so I'm going to be referring back and forth to both patterns, and I think I might have to do that for this, so we're going to add that extra base. Okay. My scissors need a little bit of a sharpen, I think. Okay. So I've already got this fused. I'm supposed to have fused it after, but I fused it before. So it just means that my Decaville Heavy is kind of going to be in my seams here. I could try and cut it out, but I should have done this before. I shouldn't have done this before, but it is what it is. I don't think I'm not gonna worry about it. My machine will handle the thickness. If you don't think yours is, don't apply your Decaville Heavy piece until you've cut out the whole piece from the pattern piece, but I've done that. So that's what we're gonna work with. Now this is where we're gonna add our base. So now I do need to kind of go back to the pattern, the add-on pattern. It's going to tell us where we add the base. Okay. We're going to add the base to this. I think we're going to add it here. I do believe. Let me just double check. Yep. So I have my little, I'm going to put some really good double-sided tape on this so it doesn't slip. Okay. stand up to this so I can see pretty good. Eyeball it. I just want to measure, make sure it's about the same. Yep, looks good. Let me just figure out when I'm supposed to top stitch this on. I just don't want to make a mistake. I think I'm supposed to do it now. It doesn't say to stitch it down in the pattern, but I feel like I should. And then it says go to the original pattern. Step 4, let me see. I feel like I should stitch this down, so that's what I'm going to do. Let me just go double check before I make a mistake. Hang on. Okay, I'm not reading anything in the pattern where it says to top stitch this down, but that just makes sense to me. So I am going to do that. Because how else will it stay? Sometimes it's hard when you're doing 2 patterns at the same time, go back and forth, but just take your time. If you're not sure, just stop and read everything. And sometimes it helps to go to the next step or a couple steps after, look at the pictures and see, but there was nothing to say to stitch it down, but that made perfect sense to me. So that's going to be the bottom of our bag. So when that's folded up, it's going to be really nice. Okay, so now, let me see, we're going to continue on with the regular pattern. We've done that. And we have to do the other exterior panel, which would be the matching back, which is this piece here. So I'm going to add to the top of that one, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've read the pattern. And what I am going to do is I'm going to make one exterior pocket, just like the pattern calls for, because that's going to be the back. So I've got my zippers on the front, and I'm going to do a slip pocket on the back. So I've got my slip pocket binding. And I guess there's 2 ways we could do this. She has us folding wrong sides together. Okay, so she has it this way. She has it going this way. Let me just make sure I get this right. Okay, so she has us doing this. We've got the exterior slip pocket and the lining piece, wrong sides together. And we're going to baste all around that. So let me just give this a little clip. We'll do one step at a time. I have to admit I was a little bit confused, which isn't difficult. So I may have to go back and read the pattern again. In my mind, I'm missing a piece, but that just might be me. Like I said, sometimes it's hard when you're going back and forth between two different patterns, like with the add-on pack. So let me just take it a step at a time. And because we're doing the add-on, that's all these, you know, the few extra things. So now I'm going to baste these together. Have two right sides. Now we're going to take our piece of pocket trim. I don't know why that doesn't look like it's half an inch, unless I cut it wrong. No, I didn't mark it right. But that's okay. I'll redo it. It's just off in this end here. I'm gonna put, let's see, probably 2 of these down. I think it will be easier. Okay. I'm just going to lay that on the line. Move this side over, and I'm going to clip it. And it always seems to me to be one side is always longer than the other. I can feel it underneath, so it's just a little hair shorter on the back. Okay, and then we're going to top stitch it on that. So we'll have a little bit of a raw edge on this side, but because it's vinyl, you won't really see it. No, I'm supposed to do something here. Hang on a minute. I don't think that was right. Maybe it was. Okay, so I'm reading the pattern there she's doing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to top stitch along the edge. So we folded it over. Okay, and I can see where I should have done it from. I should have done it from the top side. It went off a little bit here, so I'm going to redo it. Always do it from the side that's going to show. Okay, should have done it from this side. This is the side that's going to show. won't even see that because the thread is so matching. Okay, so that's our slip pocket for the back. Okay, let's go on to the next step. Okay, I just had to go over my pieces. Now we're going to be doing piece C and piece E, and we're going to join the top. And we're going to do our seam allowance that's in the pattern. Press our seam allowances to the top, we'll fold that up, make sure our seam allowances go up. We want them to go this way. It might be easier to do it. Let's see. It might be easier to do it as I go along here. So we want the seam allowances to go up. So I'm going to top stitch. I'll do that while I'm top stitching. Sometimes it's easier to do it while you're sewing. You can just feel it underneath. Just press it in the right direction. There, that one. No, it all worked. All worked good. Okay, so we've got that now. Now we're going to place the piece that we just made on top of that. So what we've done is we've basically made our slip pocket. I think I need to put a rivet in there. I'll put that in after. So now I'm lining this up. And we're going to sew all the way around, I do believe. Sides and the bottom, yep. Basically, I'm working on the back now. Okay, we're going to separate the two pockets. I'm going to put a rivet in at the top. Sorry guys, my camera died just as I was starting to sew. So what I've just done is I'm just starting to sew up the center. I've done that. And I'm just sewing a couple of stitches there, and I can show you where I put my Deckerville underneath. It'll give us a little bit more support. just trim this. You can see where my Decaville has gone up into the stitching line here. Turn that back on. So I'm just going to trim off the excess. Don't really need all that excess on there. Just enough to give it a little bit of strength so it won't pull out. Not too worried about it because this is Decaville light on here. Okay. And now we're going to do just a quick stitch. I do believe up and down the sides. If I haven't done that already, I have. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go put a rivet in here that will also hold it as well. So let me go over to my rivet press and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's what it looks like with the rivet. Now we're going to get the base that we did earlier on. We are going to attach the base. I'm going to do the back one first. And now we're going to base, we're going to fold our seams, let's see, towards the base, which is kind of the way they want to lay anyway. So we're going to top stitch there. It's a big bag, it takes up all my table. Okay. Remember, this is the back. So that's what we've got so far. It's a good sized tote. And we're going to do it for the other side as well. Now in the add-on, it did say to be careful when we do this, not to catch the pockets. Let me just double check that. Let me just double check. It did say something about not catching the pockets when attaching the base. I feel like my pockets should have been sewn up by now, but I don't know why they're not. Maybe that will happen when we sew it together. I'm gonna just top stitch these pockets. Maybe I missed a step. I just want to make sure they're closed. The sides will get sewn together, but the bottom I'm not sure about, so I'm just gonna... Okay, and I might just trim those down just a little bit. So this one will be here, and we're going to be careful not to sew the pockets in. Just double check. Pocket layers. No, don't want pocket layers. So same thing on this side. Get this one out of the way. Push my stuff underneath my needle because it's so big. Okay, same thing here. Top stitch, pushing the seams towards the bottom. Okay, now I think we're going to do the sides, circle snip, all top stitch. I think we're going to sew the sides now. Let me just I'm going to put a clip up here. I think it will hold it a little bit better. Get a little bit thick here. You can see I've got all my layers of pockets, and it lines up perfectly, so that's good. Just want to make sure I'm getting my lining in there as well. Okay, we'll do this side first. And I'm just double checking to make sure I caught everything over here, and it looks good. Same thing on this side. I guess probably the bottom pocket would have gotten caught, but I wasn't sure if it would, so I've got mine there now, sewn, that bottom piece that I probably would have gotten sewn in there, but that's okay. Quite possible I missed an instruction. Quite possible. Once again, making sure I'm catching all of these pockets. I'm going to make sure I line up those seams, those bottom seams first before I go anywhere else. Everything else I can fudge, but that has to look good. Fix this. Oh my goodness. I have to do a clip count at the end and see how many I lost today. Some days there's more clips, I swear, on the floor than there is in my clip bin. Thank goodness I have lots. Okay, that's feeling better. Which side do I want to do it from? I feel like I want to trim a little bit here. It's just a little bit too much. It's hard for me to see the edge. See, I have kind of a little bit of a pocket and stuff that's showing past this. I'm just going to trim that actually down a little bit so I can actually see, because I really want to see my vinyl. And sometimes you'll get a wrong seam allowance if you can't see it, so same over here. It's just the interfacing and the little bits of the pocket. I just really want a good visual. There we go. Now when I line it up, I can actually see that it's lined up. Okay, line that up first. Okay, same seam. I must be getting close to the end of my bobbin. I have a feeling I am. I'm gonna have to stop and wind another one probably, unless I've got one already wound. I have a feeling I'm getting there. I think that was it. I could feel it. Oh, maybe I got a little bit more. Maybe I got a little bit more. Let's see. I better look before I do this. I must be getting close to the end. Yep, I'm at the end. I did it. Okay, let me just go. Let me see if I have another one ready to go. I might have to go and wind one. Let's see. I got enough here probably just to do this one, and then I'll go wind one. Okay, let me do that again. I'll start all over from the top because I really don't think I had the tension there that I needed. Completely. I should have enough to do these corners, and then I'll go wind one. And now we're going to box the corners, and this is where it would have been very good not to have the Decadal Heavy here because it's going to be awfully thick. But like I said, my machine can do it, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. But it's just going to be really thick. Probably trim these down after. And you have to watch now because our bag feet are there. So we got to be careful not to get, I might just do a little bit smaller seam allowance. I don't want my bag feet right in there. Just a little bit smaller. And I can feel my bag feet. Okay, extra corners. Trim those down. Okay, let's turn them inside out. I'll come back when I've done that. Okay, I've got the little pieces now to do the strap, handles, connectors. on the bag. So I'm doing them a little bit different. This is from the pack, the add-on pack. So I'll show you the picture again. So we're going to do these kind of handles with rivets and strap connectors. So these are the strap connectors I'm going to use. These ones here. So I've just cut out my strap connector pieces. We're going to fold those in and sew up the either side. I don't know if I can get it with this one. I probably need two. And I put 2 layers of Decaville Light on here. I probably could have used 1 Decaville Heavy, but it was an afterthought. And I'm thinking these really do hold the whole bag. So I thought I needed a little bit more than just the marine vinyl by itself. So I thought I'm going to interface them, so that's what I did. I know we rivet after as well, but this is just what I wanted to do. And we're going to sew these down to the exterior. Okay, top stitching down the sides. Okay, I'm going to cut these in half. This is enough for all 4 of them. Okay, we're going to put a middle connector on. And I'm just going to tape these closed so they don't shift. Just make sure you're putting them on so that the seam from where you join the 2 sides is going to be on the inside. So the outside looks really clean. Okay, I'm just going to sew those together. Just so they hold. Now we're going to add these to our exterior. Now I had to refer back to the add-on pack for this. I think I mentioned that already, but in case you're wondering where that is, it's in the add-on. Just, I'm going to make sure I get my measurements right. Okay. It's a sloppy mark. I'm going to make a little mark on these too because they want you to overhang a little bit, and I just want to make sure I overhang enough. So I'm just going to make a mark on here. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of tape, a little of our tape. So this is going to sit like this. Oops, this is going to go this way actually. So that's where we want our tape to be, kind of on the upper side. I think I'll just actually put it on here. I just want to make sure I put it in the right place. Yes. Just want to make sure I'm getting it on the same side of the mark. Okay. So we're going to take this one off. This is getting to be a big bag, guys. So I'm just going to line it so that much of the connector is above. Okay, I'm going to clip that. Same on this side. Because we want our handle connectors to be the same length. Okay, that one's good. Sorry if you can't see it. It's getting a little bit tall. Okay, so this is what we've got. Can you see that now? We've made the connectors, attached it to the bag. So now we're going to sew those on. Okay, let me just snip my threads. Give it a little haircut. Just pop that back down again. Now we're not going to cut this extra overlay off, because what happens is when we're going to turn this and we're going to bring it back up, we're actually eventually going to put a rivet in there. So that's what it will look like, but it will be a rivet. You see that? So don't cut off this part. Okay, now let me see. I think we're at the part now where we're going to be doing the lining. So let me put this aside. Let me go grab my zipper overlay, my zipper pulls, and we will do the lining. I decided to go ahead and do the handles first. So I'm going to do a two-tone, a two-color handle. So what I've done is I've cut my first handle piece at 2 inches, and I'm going to do a matching color. It'll be like brown on one side and the leopard print on the other. So I've cut this one at 2, and I've cut this one at 1 3/4. So we're just going to make our usual strap. Down the middle of this one. Let me see, just count how many. Okay. It's hot here today. I'm sweaty down in my sewing room. It's very humid. I'm in Alabama, northern Alabama. It's very, very humid today. We've had so much rain and flooding and moisture. Now we have this heat, and I think the heat index today with the moisture is like up close to 100 degrees. So I went out this morning and I fed very early all my critters, my zoo here, my horses and my chickens. And okay, almost at the end. I might as well just do these all at once. Okay, that's that. Lots of tape again. I've discovered I like using this 1/2 inch tape when I do straps, when I do a lot of stuff, because I don't have to use 2 pieces. I can just use the one down the center, and it's enough so that when we fold in both sides. So this is 1/2 inch tape. It would help if I got it down the center. That would be a good thing. And when I apply tape like this, don't pull it, like just lay it down, because you don't want to distort your fabric at all. So just lay it. Just lay it down, let it fall, and don't be yanking the tape to try to straighten it out, because that can distort it a little bit, especially if your vinyl has a little bit of stretch to it. Or just place it. I'm sorry, I know this part's kind of boring. We'll do one and then you'll know how to do it. I'll do one handle and then I'll just do the other one off camera. You don't have to be bored with it. need that tape again, so I'm going to leave that out. So, as usual, take your tape off. A lot of clips, we'll need a lot of clips. So go to the center. I always kind of start in the center and work my way to the end. Get my seam roller again. I don't know if I can zoom in a little bit on here. I don't know if I can do that. I'm trying. Just a minute, let me try. No, I don't seem to be able to do that. One day I'll get the other cameras where you can zoom in from the app. Okay. And now we'll do the colored one, the accent one. Now this is going to be just ever so slightly smaller because we cut it a 1/4 inch smaller because we want the brown to show. I'll show you what I mean. We'll get it stuck on there. Okay, one side. Now the other. Okay, that one a good roll. I really do like this fabric. I know it kind of looks like rocks to me, but like I mentioned before, but it's fun. It could go with black, it could go with brown, it could go with a gray, even a cream would be good in there. Okay, now we're going to put double-sided tape, our friend, down the middle of this one. Okay, and we're going to place this one with the seam side down so that the seam from this is touching the seam from this. And we're going to kind of just take our time and we're going to center this down. This one goes ever so slightly a little bit of the brown. Ever so slightly. Just make sure it's centered all the way down. And then you have a two-tone strap. There's one side, there's the other side. feel like it's getting worse as the day goes on. Okay, so I'm going to sew that now. I'd like to do it, I'm going to say an 1/8, but I think I might do like a slightly bigger than an 1/8. Well, maybe an 1/8 will be good enough. I'm going to do it from this side though. I'm going to give it a little bit larger 1/8, just a hair. Okay, there is a strap ready to go. Okay, there we go. 2 tones, really pretty. And you can decide whether you want the accent color going out or the brown going out, but either way the strap's going to look nice. Okay, I'm just going to go do the other one off camera because it's exactly the same. Okay, we're going to work on our lining. We're going to work on the inside zipper pocket. And what I do is I cut out my zipper overlay. I've put double-sided tape on both sides. I've placed it where the pattern says to, and now we're going to sew around the outside only. I'm going to end in the hole I started in. Okay, so we've done that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut out that middle section. And I really like using my embroidery, we call them duckbill scissors. You see those? They're made to cut flat, and that's what I like to use on here. And we're just cutting around close to the stitching. We're not cutting the vinyl, we're just cutting the fabric. Just the lining. Okay, that's it. I'm going to put another bit of tape there because we're going to put the zipper pocket in there. Almost at the end of this, so let's use this. I don't know if I have enough for the pocket. Okay, we've got that. Now we're going to go to the zipper. So get your zipper, your pocket pieces. We've got tape on the top of these. So now we're going to attach our zipper. I've got my pull on, having it pull that way, so it closes that way. Would help if I put it on the side with the tape. That would work a lot better. Wonder why it wasn't sticking. Okay, put those away. Now we're going to do 1/4 inch seam rods down there. Now I'm going to open that up and flatten that seam out that we just did. It'll make it easier to install in the zipper overlay. Okay, same thing over here. Attach the zipper to the other side. Oops, go back. Excuse me. Okay, so that's going to be our pocket. And now we're going to put our pocket in our zipper overlay. This is a big pull. Now what I like to do, I know this may seem kind of weird, but I like to find my centers. And if I can, just draw like a little center mark, just with it, my erasable one, this one here. And when I put this in this way, which way is actually going to do it this way, you'll see it better from this way. Do it this side. Center mark on here. Okay, when I can kind of line this up, I can quite often see where my center is. I can get it to line up better because I can see that my pocket's centered in there. Okay, does that make sense? I hope so. Stand up for this, it's a bit easier. So there's my center line. was a big piece to work with. Okay, roughly about right there. Okay, now I can play with it. I'm using my zipper jig, and this will help center my zipper in my zipper overlay. Let's get that pull up and out of the way, because that is a big pull. Slide that along and lift and pull. So now what I've got is a really good centered zipper. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is now we're going to sew around the inside of the zipper overlay. Make sure your pocket's open on the back. And then we're going to do the inside. Pull my zipper out of the way. I'm going to stop in the hole I started in. Pull the threads to the back. Maybe, if it lets me. Best on this side, that's why. Let's try that again. There we go. And just tie them off. And I'll put a little, keep them in there, okay? A little quick organization here, things where they should be. Now we're going to fold that down, and then we have our nice zipper overlay. Now I don't know if we're turning through this hole, so let me just double check. I haven't actually figured that out yet. Yeah, we're going to leave it open. So we're just going to sew at the sides. Well, let's see. I'm going to have to trim that one. If I was not having to leave the bottom open, I would just sew that up a little bit. Okay. Now we're just going to fold this out of the way, and we're going to tuck up our ends here. I'm just folding over the edges of these pockets about 1/4 of an inch, so that when we come back, they'll be easier to turn. Okay, sewing down both sides. Same on this one. Basically, I'm just turning the edge over already. Okay, so that's what we've got now. So we've got our nice pocket. Now I think I'm going to do a slip pocket on the other side, but I don't think I cut one out. Tops, handles. No, let me just go figure out the slip pocket for the other side. I guess I took you over to the table there with me. A little pause in the video. So now we're going to take our marking pen and we're going to mark the marks that are suggested in the pattern. And this is so we can have nice square corners. Okay. I guess I should have done it on this side as well. And then we're supposed to do a little bit more. Doing the centers. Okay. Okay, now take one of your lining pieces. We're going to sew in between those two marks that we made, the shorter marks. We are leaving the bottom open to turn through the bottom, which is a very good idea on a bag like this. Oops, that's not even close. My bottom's a little bit off, but I think we can make it work. Okay, now we're going to stitch between those two marks and leave the rest of it open. And I'm going to give a good back stitch there too, so it doesn't come undone. I mean, that's a good opening. If yours wasn't exact, you'd be okay still. It's a big one. Okay. Now, you could easily do a drop-in lining with this bag. It's big enough that you could easily do. You just fold over the tops and then drop it in, and then I'm still tempted to do that, but we'll follow the pattern because the pattern's not written that way. Okay, now let's see if we can sort the sides. We're going to stop down there where we made our little mark. Oops, doesn't sound good. Okay, let's try that again. Did not like that at all. I think I didn't hold my threads long enough. You really have to hold your threads with these machines. I'm just making a snip at our mark on both sides. Sew that mark. doesn't feel right here. Let me just check. Okay, we're going to sew the sides together now. I had a little bit of problems with my machine. I had to fix it. I find the picture just a little bit confusing because it's showing all the way down. The picture's showing you sewing all the way down, but it doesn't actually show the lining down there, so I'm a little bit confused, but we'll give it a go. The picture's deceiving me. I am a visual learner. We're not supposed to sew into the base, we're just supposed to sew down the sides, but not into the base, which should be about where we made our real marks. Okay, so what we have now is kind of this here. So I think what we're supposed to do is open this up, spread this open, and line up the center marks that we made here. Oops, I should have center marks there. Let me just redo that. We should have center marks there. Okay. So we're going to line up the center marks with the center here, if I'm correct. This really is very, very confusing to me. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Let me go double check. Hang on, guys. Okay, so we're just folding it up. It doesn't look right, but I'm going to give it a go. I think it's just me trying to box these corners. I think it will look great when it's done, but I just am confused by the pictures and the pattern. But that's just me. I feel like it's just not laying like the pictures are showing, but that might just be me. So let's give it a go. I think it will be fine. I need to stop stressing over it. Make sure the seams are open. Let's just turn it out to see. That's going to be our test there. If we have a boxed corner down at the bottom. I think it will be fine. Yep, I think it will be fine once it's all done. That'll be just a straight box corner. It just looks weird because the bottom is open. I think that's what it is. Okay, let's do this one. I think I should have sewn all the way down to the end. Oh, I did there. Okay, let's do the same here. Did I find my center over here? Where's my center? I don't think I did. Needs to be a bit bigger. Okay, I'm lining that center up with the side seam. Same over here. Open that side seam. Yeah, it's going to be just fine. It's just me. It's just me. inside. Yes, nice box corner on the inside. Yep, it'll be fine. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to install this. I'm going to do a drop in. So we're going to drop this in. See, I think I'd like to have the zipper pocket on the back. Let me just open these seams here first. Just think it will be easier. So instead of, I'm going to just stitch these open. We'll just make them easier to work with. Okay. That's my back here, so I'm going to put the zipper pocket on the back. Something has to be inside out here. I think this one does. Turn it inside out. Now we're going to take a little bit of time here and see, it's so much better when you find your centers before you sew the bag together. So much easier. Okay. I've never done this before. Okay, let's try this again. The interior goes in to the lining. That's what we need to do. I must be getting tired. Okay, now we go around with our clips. I think I'll use, let me see, let me get these little things out of the way. I should be able to do it with these ones. So clip your corners first. See, we've already opened these so they fit nice together on the sides. Get all of your connectors inside as well. Needs to be out of the way. And one more side. Okay, now just work between your corners and just clip everything together. This is a little bit heavy to do. I'll move it this way a little bit. See, it's a little bit easier to do on my knee. That's looking good. It's fitting very nice. I'm happy about that. I'm just making sure my clips are going in the right direction so that when I stitch, I'm going to stitch from the inside. Just organize myself here a bit. Okay, so I'm going to be just stitching from the inside. Full seam allowance, I do believe. Yep. No, you can't really see this, but I'm just going around. It's getting caught on something. There we go. I'm just taking a few extra stitches over the connectors. Always stop with your needle down. It's not going to be any help to me at all, so I'm just get it out of the way. Sorry, I hit the connector. Well, there you go, guys. My connector was not down where it should be. And I broke my needle, so let me change my needle and I'll get back to you. Okay, all fixed. Probably needed a new needle anyway. So I just hit the connector because I was not paying attention. Let's try that again. Probably needed a new needle. It's gonna sew better now anyway, right? The other one. Okay, now I know there's a couple of spots where my seam allowance is not 3/8, so I'm just gonna, there's a couple of spots where I know that shifted on me. I'm just gonna go in there and redo them because I want my seam allowance to be right all the way along. So I'm gonna put down my seam guide. That'll help me a little bit too. Lift it where I need to. I'm close. I just want to be right on the money. Sometimes it's hard to manhandle everything we do. Yeah, this one was way off. It won't sit right at the top if it's not. I could feel when it had slipped. There. here it did as well. This one. Let's do this one. It doesn't hurt to just go back and check those things. Okay, just the top stitching's left. The box corners are looking good now that I've got them all sewn up. That's the way they should be. Now we're going to turn the whole thing inside out through this. We're just going to, it's not too bad, we're going to pull the lining over it. That's looking really good. Okay. Now what we can do is we can sew up the lining bottom through the pocket. So unzip your pocket, pull the lining through your pocket. And now we can sew up the big hole that we made. Just clip a couple of clips in there to hold it. And we didn't get anything there because we have no bobbin. Wouldn't you know it? That's at least it happened there, not when we were doing the top stitching, so that's good. I'm happy about that. Okay, let's do it all over again. We almost got it. Almost got it. Okay, let's do that again. Got that one done. I didn't say anything about trimming the pockets here, so I guess we won't worry about it. So tuck all that back in through the pockets. Technically now all we have to left to sew is the inside pocket and some top stitching, and then we'll do the handles. So I think I'm gonna take this over, because this is cotton, I'm gonna go over to my iron and iron this little seam. Okay, I've done that. I've just ironed my seam up, and I'm gonna just stitch along the bottom just to close up my pocket. that back in. And tuck the whole thing back inside. Use these, I think. I think I'll probably move over to my other machine to top stitch because it's so much easier on the cylinder arm to top stitch. It can be done on the flatbed, but I do have a cylinder arm, so I'm going to go over there. Let me get these clips on first so we can see what it looks like. It's so big. So basically now you want to just roll your edges down, get them all lined up. So that you don't have the lining showing at the top of the front. You just want the lining to be just at like a hair underneath. Oh, the kitty came for a visit. Hi, kitty. Okay, that's what it looks like. Oh. So let me go. I'm gonna have to go thread my other machine and move cameras, and I'll take you over there, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're all set up over here at this is a cylinder arm. This is also a Thor, and her name is Petunia. My daughter named her that, and it's a 1341 cylinder arm, and I have this little extension cable on to kind of give the bag a little bit of support while I'm stitching around. I'm going to just top stitch around the top. Just taking my time, not in any hurry. My lighting is getting a little bit dark here because I'm moving into the evening. There's no problem at all sewing over those connectors. Just making sure my D-rings inside on the line are not in the way. It's just so much easier top stitching on one of these machines. Some people make all their bags on these machines. The whole bag. That's some extra material. Get that out of the way. Make sure my D-rings out of the way and my lobster clasp. It's looking really good. That's it. We're done. Top stitched. Yeah, you can see that. Really nice top stitching. Okay, now I'll take you back over to my other workspace and we'll do the handles. Okay, strap pieces now. We're going to rivet these on. So what I've done is I've just put some strap ends on the bottom of my straps. I'm going to make some marks and punch holes while they're flat. It's so much easier doing it this way. And I'm using this little tool from Jolie Lee Creations. It's very handy for putting rivets in your handles. It's a rivet tool. I could do it on both of them when I got the tool out. Okay, it's just a little tool there. Let's do that. We're gonna punch holes in both those places. Okay, so then what we do, tool caddy. So we take our strap, put it through here, and we just kind of, it's got the ends on, but it'll still work. Okay, and we're going to put our rivet through on this side. We're going to go up and we'll put a rivet through on this side. Put the back on. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to make sure our handle's not twisted. And then we'll have our handles. Sorry, it's getting so big you can hardly see it. There's our handles. So, and then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put a rivet through, and because we've left that space, the extra connector down there, I'm going to rivet through there as well, but I'll just go over to the press and I'll bring it back when it's all finished. All right, friends, here she is. I've gone and installed the rivets and this on the straps. So it's really nice, guys. It's just a gorgeous bag. It's big. I have to slide back a little bit in my chair so you can see it. It's a very good size. It's called the Fancy Tote, and it's by My Handmade Space. And I want to thank Annabelle so much for letting me make this tote. Let me just stand up here and I'll put it on my shoulder. It's got great handles. It's got a ton of room in it. Get my whole shoulder arm through there. See that? Whole shoulder. So I did the add-on pack with the front zippers. So we have the two front zippers here. Okay, those there. I did the two slip pockets in the back. I've done the handle add-on. I've done the little connector handle to close it. Okay, I've done that. So instead of a zipper, we've got that. So it's a nice, easy tote bag. It's got a nice big zipper pocket inside though, so your wallet and your keys and everything and your phone are safe inside. This bag is big enough for a huge laptop. This is great for a day to the beach. It's even good for traveling because it's very deep. It is about, let's see, it's about 15 inches tall, so it's a good size. The Fancy Tote, the Fancy Tote from Handmade Space. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me make this great bag. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, Wild Pony Designs, and please give a thumbs up. And also, if you can, leave a little comment, tell me what you think. And I'll be doing more of this great bag from My Handmade Space. Thanks guys for watching. We'll do another one again soon.